Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome here to Martinsville Speedways. We're getting set for our sixth race of the season here in the PCSRA Buffalo Wild Wings Series. Time for the Dead on Tools 250 here at the Martinsville Speedway. We had a very calm and collective truck series race yesterday as they had their 200 laps here at Martinsville. Let's see what happens for these drivers in 250 laps, as this is an extra 50 laps that these drivers will have here today. Jesse Art starts on the pole position alongside of Heather Galloway. Max Lipson in the new Voyage Crypto for All Chevy this week, and Samantha Greenville. John Wesley Allen, Lulu Champagne, Luke Peters, who made his truck series debut yesterday, Bridget Thomas, Deanna Shelton, who raced her way into this event via the non-charter race, and Emily Elizabeth in the 66s. Here's the rest of your starting lineup. I want to correct one thing I said. I said Prudence Heller in the non-charter race. It was actually Pete Heller. He actually raced his way into the event via the non-charter race. Sean Art in the Lynx Capital scheme this week. Lucky Prescott will be driving this car for the rest of the season, the 96. And she also got a playoff waiver on top of that. Did pretty good in her first start, which she finished 14th. Wyatt Garcia's back here, Stephanie Driscoll. Haley Deegan, who raced her way in via the non-charter race. Go Tanaka in a new scheme. Xavier Alsop, Diana Lawson round out the field. So, it was Deanna Shelton who made the race. I don't have the... Deanna Shelton made the race. Oh yeah, the 54 and the 71. So those drivers are making their first starts of the season. By the way, here is a look at the points going into this race. Before I forget. Now let's get these cars rolling out. First pole of the season for Jesse, who's driving the Little Hugs Juice Barrel on her Menards Toyota. Max Lipson has a 39-point lead over Andy Winters. Stephanie Driscoll is third with 56 back. Wyatt Garcia lost the points lead last week. He is fourth. Rounding out top five is Mia Watson. It's Maria Nowicki, Paul Michaels, Xavier Alsop, Ari Springer, and Darby King complete the top 10. John Wesley Allen went to victory lane last week at Auto Club. He's inside the top 30 in points. Lipson and Garcia also have wins inside the top 30. Ivory Walker lost one spot last week, and she currently has a playoff spot because she's still inside the top 30 in points, but really needs a good run here today. Here we go. The Dead on Tools 250 is green for the Buffalo Wild Wings Series here at Martinsville. Let's go racing, boys and girls. Excuse me. Had an incident, but didn't bring out the yellow. That was Paul Michaels. He was 7th in points. See what happened here. It's like the 43 ran wide. And he got spun by the 17 of Xavier Alsop, and that was not a yellow, which I'm a little surprised about. Sorry, Steven. I was getting me something to eat.
That's okay.
I had to take it out of the house and let the rain deal with it, so that was...
Was it on fire?
No, it was smoking.
Oh, so you took it outside?
Yes. And I threw it away as a result. It's fine. Samantha Greenville, her teammate John Wesley Allen, the two Red Bull cars right behind each other. As Jessie currently still the race leader. Jessie is the sister to Sean Art. Jessie comes in this race tied for 14th in the standings. She's tied with Luke Peters and Lulu Champagne. She's 16th in points, but like I said, she is tied for 14th. You're excused, bud. Yeah. Jessie has one top 5, one top 10 this season. That came at Ricky. But ever since Ricky, she has been really struggling through the points. I mean, she's off to an okay start to the year. There's Samantha Greenville as her teammate just slapped the wall. Greenville 34th in the points, one top 10 this season. Still looking for her first top 5 of the season. And John Wesley Allen slapped the wall again, losing spots to Emily Elizabeth, Bridget Thomas, and Heather Galloway.
That's the name of the girl that owns Clifford.
Oh, Emily Elizabeth. And the yellow is out for the first time today. Oh, J.J. Park, second in points. Annie Winters involved. Diana Lawson. Carla Sanut's got a lot of damage to her tied Chevrolet. Lot of damage to that Branch Chevrolet of J.J. Park. Let's take a look at the replay. That's not good news for the gal who came in this race second in points because Annie Winters was trying to run down Max Lipson for the points lead. Oh, Annie Winters got spun by somebody, and then pow, nowhere for the 7 to go. Oh, Maria Nowicki got a piece of it. So did Diana Lawson, so did Ari Springer. So we're going to have to see what happened to the 98. It's like Deanna Shelton ended up spinning the Monster Energy Toyota, or Ford Mustang, excuse me. Nice motivational tutor. And there's the damage to J.J. Park. Diana Lawson, a little bit of damage to her machine, or she's out of the race. A lot of damage to the Target Dodge of Ari Springer. But the gal who came in this race second in points is out of this race.
Looks like somebody trying to come in.
That's a tough break for Annie Winters. And now she is out of the race. That's good news for the driver she was trying to run down, Max Lipson. He's currently in the 10th position, so that's good news for Max Lipson. Because Max Lipson is probably smiling because the gal who was trying to run him down for the points lead is out of the race. Carla Sanat is out of the race with a lot of damage. I think she got clipped in the process. Annie Winters, J.J. Park, Diane Lawson, and Carla Sanat, 4 of those out of the race. And that's critical because Winters came in this race second in the points, so... Back to green. And we're about to have a lead change here. Samantha Greenville just passes Jessie Art, who overdrove turns 1 and 2 and slapped the wall. There's our first lead change of the day. Carla tonight came in this race 17th in the points, so she's going to take a hit. As here comes the 40. I'll look at my running order. Who did I mention? Diana Lawson, where is she in points? J.J. Park 27th in points. That's not what he needed. As I look for Haley Deegan's a lap down. Not sure what happened to Haley unless she had to make an unscheduled pit stop. Looks like she did. I think that 32's damage had something to do with an incident in turn 3 we didn't see. We'll look at that in a second while I'm looking here. So Carlos is not 17th in points. She's going to be out of the. She's going to take a hit. Annie Winter's second in points. Diana Lawson, as I'm trying to find her in points. I did not want to have to do this, but unfortunately I have to do it anyway. Diana Lawson, 38th in the points. That's not good news for Diana Lawson, because right now she is one of the drivers in the danger zone of possibly losing her charter. I see Justin Hugo's on pit road. That's some cars pitting for some reason. 55, 41, 9. Jesse Art comes to pit road. So our pole sitter has got problems. Wonder if she hit the wall or something. Probably cut a tire down. And Bridget Thomas is currently the leader. Bridget Thomas is the sister to Annie Thomas, Jill Thomas, Molly Thomas. Molly Thomas and Jill failed to qualify for this race. Annie Thomas is in tomorrow's Monster Energy Series race you'll see right here on the PCSRA Radio Network. Bridget Thomas comes in this race 18th in the points. Ivory Walker just went another lap down, and that's not good news for Ivory Walker. And the reason I say that is because Ivory Walker is trying to stay in the top 30 in points. Well, with a 38th place run she's having, that might just knock her out of the top 30 in the point standings. And her win would not count towards a spot into the playoffs. Max Lipson currently in 7th. Of course, he was your points leader. The gal that was trying to run him down for the points lead, Annie Winters, out of the race. So Annie Winters will definitely take a hit in the points. Whereas third in points, Stephanie Driscoll, 26. That's not good. Wyatt Garcia, 28. He was 4th in points entering this race. So this is good news for Max Lipson. With where he's running, he would keep the points lead heading into next week at Darlington. Of course, next week is Throwback Weekend for Trucks and Buffalo Wild Wings as Wyatt Garcia pits again. Not sure why they're pitting. Unless they're serving a penalty. Mia Watts is also falling a lap down, or about to lose another lap. A lot of drivers who are running well in points. Oh, Kaylee Rankin fell a lap down. That's not good news for Kaylee Rankin. She came in this race in that critical 30th in the standings. So that's not good news. Of course, Quentin Moore failed to qualify again. And, 16 had to slow down with a problem. That's going to allow Samantha Greenville to pass on the outside to take the lead. Got some drivers on pit road. Not sure why we're pitting right after the restart, unless some of these drivers are cooking the bead. That was Driscoll, Jared Underhill. Driscoll, that's not good for Driscoll. The 9's pitting. 9's got more issues. That's Maria Nowicki. former winner this season, who's having problems. There's some rear end damage to Darby King. So I'm thinking while these guys are in a green flag run, I should jump back and look at a replay to see Carla Sanat's accident. While these drivers are clean and green. Let's see what happened to Carla. How she got that front end damage. Okay, so this was coming back to the yellow, and Haley Deegan gets in the left rear and gets Carla. So Ivory Walker, okay, so this would explain why Darby King has rear end damage on her machine. It's like Ivory Walker got into Justin Hugo. And then Hugo's going to come down and get Carla Sanat, so that's female abuse. And then Carla comes down off the nose of Haley Deegan. And that's why the 32 is out of the race, and why Hugo, Darby King, and Ivory Walker have damage to their machines. And yellow is out for the second time today. Not sure who it was for. I'm going to go ahead and pause the race. Good time to look back at a replay to see what exactly happened. Oh, Mia Watts is out of the race with an engine problem. We'll address that right now. Yeah, something broke. I don't know if it was probably a plug wire or a valve that broke. Whatever the case, that's a tough break for Mia Watts. Came in this race 5th in the points. I bet Max Lipson's probably smiling smiling like crazy. Now let's see what brought the yellow out. So that's why Mia Watts is out of the race. It was due to an engine failure. Now let's see what brought the yellow out. Our second yellow of the day, and looks like nobody. We're getting a report from the officials. It must have been fluid coming off. Oh, the 9 stopped. Okay, this would explain why the yellow is out. So Maria Nowicki, who's in 37, looks like she missed the pit lane, is what I was going to say, and had a mechanical failure. And apparently she stopped on track, as looks like she missed pit lane. So whatever the problem is, looks like it was a tire problem. And Ari Springer just ran the back of Jared Underhill under the yellows. That's male abuse. Oh, and some more drivers got some damage. Wyatt Garcia just ran the back of Darby King for some reason. And then, and Darby King runs into Wyatt Garcia, jerks the wheel to the left, runs into Wyatt Garcia's 28 machine. Not sure what that was really all about between those two. So, boy, we got some tempers flaring early in this event. Maria Nowicki got held a lap for bringing out that yellow. These drivers had to make a pit stop before this race is over. Boy, we've already had 2 yellows, and we're not even 40 laps in the event. I have a lot of lap cars on the inside line as we're getting set to go back to green, so only the 16 cars out of the race. Wasn't due to the second yellow, it was actually due to a mechanical failure. Green flag back in the air. Caitlin Rankin trying to get one of her laps back. I forgot to check and see how many she's down. Rankin is 2 down. Jessie Art, 3 down. So if she gets this lap back, she'll be 2 down. Lucky Prescott also fell a lap down. Actually, let me rephrase that. She fell 3 laps down. So now she got one of her 3 laps back. As Victor Gonzalez just got spun around and in the wall. And that's good news for those drivers who just got their lap back. They're going to be going around the pace car. That's a yellow. They're going to beat the leader back to the yellow. Oh, slow down, slow down, slow down. 24 just came to pit road for some reason. Not sure what that was really all about. Oh, somebody's smoking. That's Sierra Harris. Oh, another incident. Okay. Let me pause this. Yeah, thank you, dishwasher, for interrupting. 3rd yellow of the race. And looks like male abuse for the 40. Or did the 70 came off the corner slow? Yeah, 40 just tried to stick it in there 3 wide. And 3 wide's never a good idea. And just spun the Whataburger Chevrolet into the wall. Justin Hugo got a piece of it. Monica Town sideswiped the points leader. Sierra Harris slowed down. But what brought out... Oh, and Amanda Wallace got spun by Darby King trying to avoid the event. And then something happens to the 9 of Maria Nowicki. Let's see what happened to her. Because she got sent around. Let's see. They're coming off turn 4 as they're racing back. Monica Towns got loose. Looks like the 66 got loose. That's Emily Elizabeth. Came down into Makoto Tanaka, spun herself around. The 9 goes spinning around. I don't know what happens to the 66. She might have just hit the wall and hit the inside wall. Looks like she did. Yep. After she spins the 9 out, she's going to slap the left side of her Ford Mustang. Her, what is her sponsor? Her VSI Racing Ford. But then we had an incident. Why Sierra Harris has some damage. And Victor Gonzalez commits female abuse and just took the 81 in the wall. Not sure what really that was really unnecessary there. So that would explain why the 81 had a front end smashed in. A lot of damage to the MSD Chevrolet of Sierra Harris. And Sierra did not need this as she came into this race, if I can find her in points. She came in this race 35th in the points, did not need this. And all the leaders are stacking up. Looks like the 86 came to pit road. Was this an unscheduled stop? Yeah, it might have been. She might have came to pit road. Probably got a tire going down. Or repairing damage, one of the two. Not sure why the 24 pitted, unless the 24 had a problem. Let's see. Yep, 24 had a tire going down too, so. Alright, so that could kind of explain why Yellowway did lose a lap doing so. Tanaka, or no, I'm sorry, not Tanaka. Sierra Harris is out of the race. That front end damage really affected her car, and well, she's out of the race. Well, actually, it wouldn't affect anybody's car because on a short track like this, aerodynamics don't mean squat. And looks like Chloe Carmichael is the leader. long line of lap cars, and Sierra Harris the only car out of the race. The 4 that were involved in that first yellow checked and released from the care center. Sierra Harris will now head off to the care center. And like Diana Lawson, Sierra Harris could not afford a bad finish because, like I said, she's dead last in points of the. She's right near that danger zone of losing your charter for next season. Back to green. Wyatt Garcia just made it 3 wide with the race leader and the lap car of Haley Deegan. Pete Heller is in second as more lap cars are going to pass the 2, and that's really going to stack everybody up. Oh, and they're trying to go. Oh, no, they're 4 wide. This is not going to end well, and there go the leaders. You knew that was not going to work. And the yellow is out, and that might have just given Darby King the lead. She couldn't beat the 09. Or actually, the 09 is the leader, I'm sorry. And all these drivers just got their lap back. 28, 45, 1, and 71. So they're going to be back on the lead lap. Luke Peters has a lot of damage to his race car. Oh, and another incident. Hold on, let me pause this so I don't miss any incidents that, well, 3 wide was not gonna. 3 wide was a little sketchy. 4 wide, that was a complete death sentence. Ooh, 55 was involved in this. We'll have a look at that in just a second. I really don't know what that was really all about. I mean, for goodness sake, we did not need to go 4 wide there, people. 3 wide's fine. 4 wide was a death sentence. Paul Michaels and looks like Greta Wagner decided 4 wide was going to be a smart idea. That was not going to work, and Chloe Carmichael got in the wall, and around they go. 24-9 did a good job trying to take evasive action. Kaylee Rankin got a piece of it. That's Samantha Greenville all torn up. A lot of damage to her Red Bull machine. But then what happens over here? Oh, Luke Peters. This happened. So we had 2 different incidents for this yellow. We had the 4 wide kerfuffle. That would probably be the following wreck. Let's see. Somebody's going to spin. Oh, Ivory Walker committed male abuse. Someone just hit. Oh, Deanna Shelton hit Justin Hugo. There's how the 11 got some damage. So that was the yellow. And then this little kerfuffle was the following yellow. Or was the yellow. Was the incident coming back to the caution. And looks like we had a stack up under the yellow. And Greta Wagner is our leader. Good grief. It's like Greta Wagner's coming to pit road. Looks like that was a scheduled pit stop. Samantha Greenville is now out of the race. Boy. Martinsville playing its part in the championship. And Darby King, who has a lot of damage to her Chevrolet, is now the race leader. So Darby King, Bridget Thomas, Max Lipson, the points leader. I bet he's wondering how in the world he's surviving this. Lulu Champagne, Jake Putnam rounds out your top 5. Yep, I was correct. Then Sean Art, Monica Towns, Amanda Wallace, Makoto Tanaka, and Lainey Fredrickson complete the top 10. Well-needed run for Lainey. Back to green. Out of the race after that one. Annie Winters out of the race with an engine failure. So Annie Winters not doing her championship hopes any favors here in the Buffalo Wild Wings Series. Samantha Greenfield's out of the race due to the incident we had. And April Winters is not doing her championship hopes any favors by dropping out of the race with an engine failure. It's a big wreck. Pete Heller's got damage. Justin Hugo's on pit road. Looks like he got a penalty for something. I don't know what that was all about. Maria Nowicki smoking. Amanda Wallace, I just mentioned about her. Oh, another wreck. Kaylee Rankin, Stephanie Driscoll. Good grief. Haley Deegan. Emily Elizabeth is all torn up. A lot of damage to that Ford Mustang. This is a demolition derby, for goodness sakes. And I'm going to pause it so that way I don't miss any incidents. Boy, where do we begin after this? Okay, I heard some screeching. Oh, Jared Underhill got involved. And boy, I don't know why Jared would run into Jesse Art there. That's female abuse times 2. And then they shoved Lulu Champagne the wall. Jesse gets hit by Amanda Wallace. That's why she spun around. And then, oh, Sean Art spun. That's not good. Jesse gets involved in an incident not of her own doing. Sean avoids his sister, but runs on the side of Bridget Thomas and runs himself into the wall. And then the teammates, I believe, oh my goodness. Maria Nowicki just turned her teammate, turned Stephanie Driscoll right in the end of the pit wall and right in the garage area. I bet that was a scary view for the Monster Energy Series driver teams who are working on their cars in the garage. Because remember, they just had happy hour just before this race. See how Pete Heller got involved. So it looks like Victor Gonzalez getting ping-ponged around like a ping pong ball. Okay, so he got turned by the 28. That's Wyatt Garcia. In the inside wall he goes. Gets Maria Nowicki. There's how Pete Heller got involved. He ran the back of the 6. Greta Wagner gets a piece of Chloe Carmichael. Boy, I can't say I'm surprised. I bet that's not going to be a pleasant meeting at Junior Motorsports. Teammates taking each other out. I bet Dale Jr. is not going to be a happy camper. Emily Elizabeth, sadly for her, she is out of the race. I need to go to the pace car. It's like Darby King made her pit stop, so she's go to the back. And leading the race is Jake Putnam. As we're now on lap number 61. Of 250. Emily Elizabeth's out of the race, so is Stephanie Driscoll. I bet Stephanie Driscoll's not going to be happy with her teammate. And that's not going to sit well with Cody Smart. And we're being told driver and crew chief of the 86 report to the big black and yellow truck out of the race for a restart violation. Because she is not on the lead lap. She's a lap down and she restarted in the wrong line. So there's a black flag for the 8. So the 86 has been called to the big black and yellow truck for a restart violation. So Heather Galloway has been asked to see the officials after the race why that was a restart for that restart violation. 24 is a lap down. If the 24 gets back on the lead lap, that would be good. Makoto Tanaka, Laney Fredrickson, I just talked about. Fredrickson's on pit road. 24 is going to need a yellow, and she almost got one with the 19 and the 41 messing with Amanda Wallace there. 86 was given the black flag. I think that was for that, or no, not 86. 86 actually has been asked to see the officials in the hauler. Somebody came to pit road. I couldn't tell who it was. Okay, that was Tanaka, Fredrickson, and Shelton. I don't know who came to pit road. Back to the leader. That's Jake Putnam. He's had a really struggling start to the season. Oh, yellow's out. 24's back on the lead lap. So somebody must have spun. Yellow's out one more time. So that will make it 21 cars on the lead lap as we're trying to figure out. Oh, there it is. There's the yellow. Darby King got spun. And it's the teammates from Chip Ganassi Racing. Ari Springer got turned by the 42 of Lulu Champagne. Down in Darby King. Boy, there's going to be a lot of team owners who are not going to be happy. And then Chloe Carmichael just sends the 0 round. I bet Nathan Orman's going to go smack Timmy Turner for that. And then Victor Gonzalez. Boy, he's been involved in a number of incidents today. I've lost track how many. But that's good news for the 24. And looks like the 24 got one of her laps back. So now she's one lap down in the process. And Sean's still in the top 10 after that little spin. I think he was trying to avoid his little sister, which he did. Just, if you're hearing some rumbles of thunder, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. It's been raining on and off all day. Nobody else out of the race. 86 got it, held a lap. For a restart violation on the previous restart, so Heather Galloway's probably going to get a fine. No penalties as far as that's concerned. Back to green. And when I say she's only going to get a fine, it's only going to be a fine because you're not supposed to line up on the outside line when you're a lap car, and Jared Underhill almost got taken out by Haley Deegan in the back. Haley Deegan being a little aggressive here in her Buffalo Wild Wings Series debut. Of course, she was supposed to have made an Xfinity debut last year, but stuff happens. As the 40, Max Lipson's coming to pit road. Same with Kaylee Rankin. Not sure why. Unless that was a scheduled stop. Galloway's getting back on the lead lap, so if she gets a yellow here, she's back in the race. I think she might have just got one. Oh, got a wreck. Oh, big wreck. Amanda Wallace, Chloe Carmichael, Greta Wagner, Darby King. Yep, there's the yellow. And Galloway's back on the lead lap. Of course, Galloway will start up. Is Galloway going to get it? Okay, I was about to go to say, was Galloway going to get caught up in that? Hope not. Let's see what happens here. It's like Ari Springer just had enough of Greta Wagner and just dumped the Mikasuki Chevrolet. That was a hard hit. Amanda Wallace nowhere to go. Darby King nowhere to go. Chloe Carmichael runs to the back of the Verizon Ford Mustang. They're saying the 11 is the leader. Let me find the 11. There he is. It's like Bridget Thomas and Bella Santiago are on the tail end of the lead lap. 09 and 22 out of the race. All the other drivers that were involved in the earlier yellows have been released from the care center. And one more little note, we're not even halfway, and we've already doubled the amount of yellows in our truck race. Ten cars on the lead lap. Everyone else is a lap down. 29 to race. Boy, the points are going to get shaken up big time. Back to green. I wonder how many yellows we're going to have in the time frame. Almost had one back there. Hopefully these drivers can settle down. And Heather Galloway, who just got herself back on the lead lap, now in second. Although Galloway still has the meeting with race control for that restart violation. As Luke Peters gets ahead. Colleague trying to get their second win of the season. They've been to victory lane with Max Lipson. Mia Watts has not been to victory lane, although she's going to take a hit in the points. And now Luke Peters leads, so this could be the second Colleague racing car that would go to victory lane. As Peters got the wall somewhat. Monica Towns is back on the lead lap, so she's going to need a quick yellow. So our Truck Series race yesterday was a bit calm and clean. They did get to see pit stops. However, this race has been a little messy. Hopefully it won't be messy tomorrow on the Monster Energy Series races. Peters is coming to pit road. I don't know if Heather Galloway's been to pit road or not. Victor Gonzalez has been in and out of the pit lane, has not even fixed his damage to his Chevrolet. '54, we're being told, is second. There he is. That's Pete Heller. The front end is missing on his Rowdy Energy Toyota. Pete Heller making his first start of the season as the 6 cars back in the pit lane. I guess they haven't even fixed the damage. The 11 still on pit road. It's like Luke Peters has left pit road. That was probably a scheduled stop. So looking at this grand scheme of things, The 96 team, as I look, now with,
I haven't seen any intern here lately.
look here at my points. Lucky Prescott, that 96 team, as far as in owner points is concerned, they're so far up in owner points, they are safe as far as losing their charter is concerned. Because in driver points, it would be exempt for that 96 team. So we're coming up to almost 100 laps in the race. Scarlett Nelson, we talked about drivers who are in the danger zone of possibly losing their charters as things stand. April Winters, Diana Lawson, Makoto Tanaka, Scarlett Nelson, and Sierra Harris, they were the 5 drivers who came in this race in the danger zone of losing their charters. Well, Nelson is in 10, so Nelson's having a well-needed run. April Winters not doing her championship hopes any favors by having a mechanical failure and dropping out of the race. And even if, and since I counted the points for her relief driver, it didn't mean a difference as far as April Winters is concerned. So April Winters not doing her championship hopes any favors as far as trying to get in the top 30 in the points and getting a victory. If she doesn't start winning races soon, that could mean the 06 will not be in the championship hunt. And now their big worry is trying to keep her charter for next season. That's their big worry, as Carmichael and Fredrickson, as long as Ari Springer is concerned. Nelson's on pit road. That must be a scheduled stop. Let's see what the fuel window is as we're coming up to, we're actually on lap 100. Let's go back to the 86. As she is on lap 100. 189 laps, these drivers can go on a tank of fuel. So April Winters will still be in the danger zone leaving Martinsville. Cody is going to have to figure out how in the world April Winters is going to start winning races. Because April Winters is not doing her championship hopes any favors here in this series. Let me look at the Truck Series points. April Winters has a win in trucks, and she's in the playoffs. Of course, she didn't take part at Ricky in the Truck Series due to the fact she was not 18. Now she's not doing her hopes any favors here in the Buffalo Wild Wings series. And if I'm Cody Smart, I'm going to be a little bit worried. You know, was April Winters going to the 06 a good decision? So far, April Winters has had a difficult start to the year. I mean, in her 5 starts coming into this race, she's had an average finish of 33.4 and an average start of 15.2. And like I said, she's dead last in points of the drivers who have a charter for this season, as far as driver points. So April Winters really not doing herself any favors in that. And that 06 team needs to start winning races soon, or they could lose a charter for next season. Of course, Heather Galloway still has that meeting with race control for that restart infraction, in which she lined up on the outside line when she was a lap down. I don't think that's going to be a popular win if the 86 wins this race, in my opinion. Pete Heller currently in second. He's 9 seconds behind the 54. There's the 54. There's Sean. As the 17's coming to pit road. This must be a scheduled stop. And we're now into a long green flag run. 20 has made his pit stop. That's Jake Putnam. I don't know if the 86 has made a stop or not. I don't think she has. There's Ari Springer. Gonna try to get one of her laps back. She is currently -6, now -5. And she overdrove the corner, and now she'll be back to -6. Has not been a good day for Ari Springer. That's 9th in the points, by the way. Let's see, Max Lipson, 18th. He was your points leader. Winters is out of the race. Annie Winters, that is. She was 2nd in points. Driscoll is out of the race. She was 3rd in points. Garcia is not running well either in 18th. So this is really going to shake up the points heading into next week at Darlington. A number of drivers running well in points. Not the runs those drivers would have liked. And of course, Pete Heller raced his way in via the non-charter event. Having a good debut. Same for Deanna Shelton, who, despite being a lap down, the 11's on pit road. That's an unscheduled stop. Of course, tomorrow we cap off our weekend here at Martinsville before we head off to the track Too Tough to Tame, Darlington Raceway. And for the first time this whole weekend, it will next weekend will be at night. Of course, we will have the 2 non-charter races for trucks and Buffalo Wild Wings. Then we will have our our 5th race for trucks, our 7th race for Buffalo Wild Wings and Monster Energy. I think with all the struggles so far, Max Lipson, I believe, will still keep the points lead heading into next week at Darlington. It'll be the first time this season all 3 series will race at night. Of course, trucks and Buffalo Wild Wings ran at night at Ricky, whereas Monster ran in day. Then it got flip-flop at Atlanta, where trucks and Buffalo Wild Wings ran at day, Monster ran at night. Las Vegas, they ran in the day. Monster ran at night at Phoenix, whereas Buffalo Wild Wings ran in the day. Last week, they ran in the day with Buffalo Wild Wings at Auto Club. And now next week, first time all 3 series will run at night. And it's the newest Darlington I just got onto this computer. So there you go. We'll be halfway through this race, by the way. Heather Galloway, like I said, has not made a pit stop yet. Unless she has, then she might not make it the rest of the way. Who knows? Bella Santiago, Bridget Thomas, the only two on the lead lap. Well, as soon as I say that, Heather Galloway is coming to pit road. So she did not. And now that will turn the race lead over to Pete Heller, who raced his way into the event with Deanna Shelton and Haley Deegan from the non-charter race earlier this morning. Of course, they did not make pit stops in the non-charter race. First start of the season for the 54 team out of Joe Gibbs Racing. That's their all-star team, because there's the 19. That's Jesse. That's their teammate, Jesse Art. Sean Art is in second. And Jake Putnam. So Joe Gibbs Racing has a 4-car team. 19, 18, and 20 are battling for the championship. The 54 is an all-star team. Of course, they have Pete Heller, Carmen Alejandro, Monica Grandal, who will be in this ride next week at Darlington, and Tyler Thomas. Grandal, Thomas, Tyler Thomas, that is. And who was the other driver I said? Pete Heller's making his first start. I know that. Tyler Thomas, Carmen Alejandro, and Monica Grandal. That was who the other driver was, Alejandro. Those three I just mentioned, they have not made a start in the 54. So Pete Heller finally getting this all-star 54 into the field. Of course, he's running the Rowdy scheme, and that is the, I think that's the green-flavored Rowdy. I want to double-check to make sure. Yeah, this is the green-flavored Rowdy on his number 54. Let me confirm that. Yeah, he's running the, wait, make sure what scheme he's running. Yeah, he's running the green Rowdy on his machine. I think it's that lemon lime. Yeah, it's the lemon lime Rowdy he's running. And caution's out. That's not good for Heather Galloway. She just got put 2 laps down in the process. Oh, why are we going up high? Oh, we have a stack up. Oh, and Pete Heller just got spun. Oh, Wyatt Garcia, Bridget Thomas involved. Max Lipson, the points leader, got some damage. I think that would be the reason. Yep, that's the reason for the yellow. Oh, the 24's got damage. 24 blew up. Boy, Nathan Orman Motorsports is having a miserable season. Both their Truck Series program and Buffalo Wild Wings Series program not having a good start to the year. And their programs came in this race in the danger zone of losing their charter if they don't get their performances together. So the 24 brings out the yellow, and then, oh, Lucky Prescott, nowhere to go. Ari Springer not using the brakes. Good grief. And then Bridget Thomas just runs to the back of the Target Dodge. Lucky Prescott looks like she is going to be sadly out of the race, and indeed she is. And the 40's got damage. And then I'm not going to look at the rest. So not sure what blew up. Darby King is out of the race. Kaylee Rankin, too. Something must have happened to those two, because I don't know why they're out of the race, unless they broke something. And now they're out of the race. They will have to go to the care center. Luke Peters has finally called it a day. Out of the race in 28th, and we'll join the rest of those drivers behind the wall. So Kaylee Rankin's out of the race. So is Darby King. So tough break for Darby King. We'll see Darby King tomorrow in the Monster Energy Series when we cap off our weekend here at Martinsville. As we're back to green. Pete Heller, Sean Art, and Bella Santiago are the 3 drivers currently on the lead lap. There's Sean, battling with his sister Jessie and his teammate Jake Putnam. So all 3 JGR cars right together. Victor Gonzalez still in and out of the pit lane. Wyatt Garcia's coming back in. So Heather Galloway, due to that untimely yellow flag, now 2 laps down in the 7th position. So she's got an uphill battle on her hand. And she was hoping if that went into a long green flag run, hopefully drivers would pit and she would get back on the lead lap. Unfortunately, that yellow came out. That was an untimely yellow. How would it be for Pete Heller to go to victory lane in his debut race? I mean, we talked about non-charters in the first 5 races. None of the non-charter drivers have been to victory lane this season. And even if Pete Heller goes to victory lane, it's not going to mean a difference as far as the chase grid is concerned for the Buffalo Wild Wings series, because this 54 team is a non-chartered team. So even if the 54 goes to victory lane, it would not be enough for that team to get themselves into the top 30 in the points for that victory to count towards a spot in the playoffs if they were to win today. But it would give them a crooked number in the win column. And that would be some good momentum for them. Ivory Walker running 19th. We'll see where this is going to situate her as far as the good news is for Ivory Walker. A lot of drivers ahead of her in points have ran into trouble and they're already out of the race. So this might be a good cushion for Ivory Walker, Ivory Walker, I was right. For Ivory Walker to stay away from 30th in the points, because Kaylee Rankin, like I mentioned, came in this race in that critical 30th in the standings. What was the gap? Ivory had a total of 29. She was a total of 32 points ahead of 30th in the standings. Well, Ivory is running in 19th. And Kaylee's out of the race in 24th. She just recently took her Chevrolet back behind the wall to end another miserable day. But like I said, there's been a lot of cars out of the race before her, so I don't think that's going to hurt her too much. Sean Art, definitely a well-needed run for that 18 bunch, as Victor Gonzalez still coming in and out of the pit lane. And they're not even making an attempt to fix his damage. Sean Art came in this race 33rd in the points, so a well-needed run for Sean. And if the 54 wasn't in the race, Sean Art would actually be leading the race. Sean Art and Bella Santiago, if those two go to victory lane, they would be in the playoffs. And for Sean, he was, as I said, 33rd in the points, trying to get back in the top 30 in the points. While we are watching the screen, I'm going to go ahead and refill my cup of drink. So give me 1 second while this green flag run goes on. Everybody, I believe, needs to make one more stop to make it to the end of the race. So, this has been a demolition derby. I can't imagine what tomorrow's Monster Energy race is going to be like. As I am back, that was, and I hit the plate, sorry about that. Of course, I can't talk too loud because everybody's gone to bed. After this race is over, we will show you your point standings heading into Darlington. Pete Heller currently still your leader here at Martinsville. Victor Gonzalez still in the pit lane. 24 cars, sorry. On track 3 on the lead lap. Everybody else is out of the race. Checking through the field. Might have been our last yellow of the race unless I jinx it. Which I'm hoping and praying I don't jinx it, as Victor Gonzalez just got put in the wall. Or did he just heal? Or is he coming back on the track? Okay, I thought he got put in the wall, but he didn't. That 6 car needs to be put in the wall because he's been in and out of the pit lane. And he's coming back in. I don't know why he's making multiple pit stops when they could have just took the hood off and just made our life a lot easier. So Pete Heller trying to become the first non-chartered driver to go to victory lane this season. Oh, Hugo's in the wall. He probably got put in the wall by a lap car. Let me confirm that. Nope, overdrove the corner. They need to park the 6 because the 6 car, all he's just doing is just going in and out of the pit lane and just being a total nuisance. You know, he's not doing his chances of getting back. He's not doing his chances any favors by going in and out of the pit lane. Just fix your damage and just try to get as many points as you can. There's Deanna Shelton. Good run for Deanna. First start of the year for the 27. This is a car out of Our Motorsports, sponsored by State Water Heaters. Sean is in second. He's like 7 seconds behind Pete Heller, as Wyatt Garcia is the next car ahead of him. Someone black flagged the 6 and force him to sit on pit road to fix his damage because he's really just being a problem. He's being a problem not just to the officials, but to everybody else. It's like, fix your damage, please. I don't want to sound like Travis Crampton, but Travis would agree with me. You gotta fix your damage. It's like Heather Galloway's got a hood buckle on her Cayman Jack Honda. As Victor Gonzalez is back out on track again. And he just ran into Heather Galloway. That's female abuse there, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if the 86 just dumps the 6 right about now. Would be nice. Heather Galloway is not going to be happy with the 6. Of course, we don't know who'll be in the 6 car or the 86 car next season. We'll find that out when silly season comes around. Victor Gonzalez, he's about to get turned. I'm sorry, but you know, you are what, 41 laps down, just being a total nuisance, and you're asking to get dumped. You're asking it. You're asking for trouble. I mean, he really needs to park that car. Like, right now would be good. Because what he's doing is he's going to cause a hazard, going to cause another yellow, and he's going to continue going in and out of the pit lane. And he's not doing himself any favors by doing that. I understand you're not running well and you're 24th, but it's getting a bit of annoying seeing a damaged car just riding around going in and out of the pit lane when you could have fixed your damage under the yellow you got involved in an incident with, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got dumped right about now. And Victor Gonzalez has been asked to see the officials after the race for failing to fix his car under the damaged vehicle policy. And he's going back in the pit lane. Why am I not surprised? And I believe we're under yellow. Yep, we're under caution. That was a nice green flag run. That was a well-needed green flag run we needed. So now we have 2 drivers asked to see the officials after the race. And looks like Laney got spun. That would be the reason for the yellow. And she got turned by Bella Santiago. Boy, Bella Santiago not being nice to rookie drivers for whatever reason. Yeah, Victor Gonzalez will be asked to see the officials after the race. That was probably the last yellow that Pete Heller needed to see. But Victor Gonzalez has been called to the big and black and yellow truck for not fixing the damage under the damaged vehicle policy. Which, to be quite honest with you, he quite frankly deserves that punishment. Because watch, as soon as we go back to green, he's going to start doing this in and out of the pit lane. God, he's 44 laps down, and he's really asking for trouble. And yep, he's going to come back in the pits. One of us just need to run the back of him so he can fix his damn car. Or take him out of the race. I really just don't understand why they can't park him. Sean Art, with that yellow flag being kind to him, now finally has a chance to catch up to the 54. Those two are teammates. 54 is not... If the 54 wins, the 54 would not be in the playoffs because that's an all-star team. Yellow's out. If Sean wins, he's in the playoffs. What's the yellow for? I assume the 45 would be the reason for the yellow. Okay, there's the yellow. Yep, and it involved the lap car, I think. Or did the 45 have a mechanical problem? 45 probably had a mechanical problem. Yep, she did. I was going to say, was it involving a lap car? If it did, then Victor Gonzalez would have been in trouble with the officials. Now Sean's on the lead lap. Deanna Shelton is now heralded third. That's its up break for Bella Santiago. Out of the race with a DNF. Oh, and looks like Victor Gonzalez has finally called it a day. He has blown a tire. So that's one less headache we don't have to worry about. But to add insult for Victor Gonzalez, he still has that meeting with race control for why he couldn't fix his car on pit road. So finally, Victor Gonzalez is out of everybody else's misery. Deanna Shelton's trying to get her lap back. She's already passed Sean R., but like I mentioned, that's not for position because Deanna Shelton is a lap down. Sean just got the wall. It's like his car got tight. Sean's going to have to fix his damage. Of course, his sister. See where Jesse's running. Jesse's 11, so still not a bad day for Sean and Jesse. Oh, yellow's out. Aww. Haley Deegan is out. Oh, a big wreck. Xavier Alsop is out of the race. Wyatt Garcia just committed female abuse on a truck series driver, GG. So Deegan gets turned in the inside wall. And then the 17, nowhere to go. Monica Towns got a piece of it. Paul Michaels involved. 40 runs in the back of the 42. Monica Towns had a quiet race going until now. And Xavier Alsop now out of the race as a result. And I believe Sean's going to come to pit road. No, he's not. I think he's just trying to get back in line. That's a tough break for Haley Deegan, who had a very good run going, unfortunately out of the race. Boy, we're not done with wrecking just yet. And those two will go to the care center. Unfortunately, Haley Deegan, her day is done. Tough break for her. Back to green. It's like Pete Heller did not get a good restart, and that's going to allow Deanna Shelton to get back on the lead lap. And Chloe Carmichael has taken her car back behind the wall. The ignition just blew on her 2 car. Carmichael was having a okay run, but at least she's going to finish with 20th with all those other drivers out of the race before her. But that was good data to help her out for tomorrow's Monster Energy race. She'll definitely be off to the showers. Deanna Shelton trying to get a yellow to get back on the lead lap. Make it 3 drivers. Shelton, I believe, would not make the playoffs because she's a non-charter driver. Her sister Jess was unable to make some races, but Jess will be in that car next week at Darlington, because that is the home race for the Shelton sisters. There's Sean Art. Nice run for Senor Sean. Well-needed run for a driver who really has been struggling this season here in this Buffalo Wild Wings series. And Sean is the only driver that if he goes to victory lane today, Sean Art would have a conversation of possibly being one of the 12 drivers battling for the championship. I need to check to make sure the 54 doesn't have ratings. If the 54 has ratings, Sean Art has a playoff spot. I think the 54 is the same. 19.4, 19.4. Yeah, it looks like 54 is the same. Okay. Because I didn't do ratings on these cars, I'm only doing 40-60, which I still need to do end ratings on those. Look at all those drivers out of the race. We're gonna end up with 19 drivers on track, 3 on the lead lap. Because Deanna Shelton is the last car on the lead lap in third. That's still a good result for a go or go homer. In fact, go or go homer is running first and third. Sean Art is the meat of the go or go homer party. He is actually the highest of the full-time drivers. And also for Pete Heller, he also would be, he also is the best of the rookie of the race deal. Speaking of that, Rookie of the Year is going to get shaken up big time. With Sean getting 9 points, he's going to be all the way up in the top 10 in the Rookie of the Year standings. But remember, Sean is trying to get a win to get into the playoffs. So he's got to hope Pete Heller makes a mistake. Because if you're Joe Gibbs Racing, what do you do? Because the 54 is not running for the championship. Because the 54, all they're doing is just trying to find victory lane and all that. Sean Art, on the flip side, he's trying to make the playoffs. He's trying to get his first career win. And he comes in this race 33rd in the points, would like to get in the top 30 in the points. And Sean has yet to have a top 5 this season. And the way things are looking, Sean Art has a top 5 run going. Monica Towns is having a top 5 run going despite the front end being missing and she being 2 laps down. So Monica Towns, another one of those drivers who are right near that danger zone of losing her charter. This is a well-needed run for her. Because looking at the playoff grid, 8 drivers are going to make the playoffs on points as things stand. They are, I'm not on the 54, there we go. They are Max Lipson, Wyatt Garcia, Maria Nowicki, and John Wesley Allen, who won our most recent race. Oh, I forgot Ivory Walker. That's 5. So 7 drivers would be in the playoffs via the points. They were coming in this race: Annie Winters, Stephanie Driscoll, Mia Watts, that's 3. Paul Michaels would be 4. Xavier Opsop 5. Springer and Darby King. And King had a 1-point lead over Heather Galloway as far as the final spot in the race. Galloway is 8th. Darby King is out of the race in 26. And remember, that's on points, I should point out. Sean is absolutely closing in on a Pete Heller. And if Sean goes to victory lane, that's another spot taken. And chartered drivers would go 6 for 6. Pete Heller's trying to make sure a non-chartered driver goes to victory lane. Sean just got the walls because Sean overdrove the corner. But the question is going to be, is fuel? Has Pete Heller made his final stop? If he has, he's good to go to the end of the race. If he hasn't, Sean Art is sitting in the catbird seat, even though he's gotten the right side messed up on the Lynx Capital Toyota Supra. Either way, if the 54 were to win this race, either way, Joe Gibbs Racing would have a 1-2. Deanna Shelton trying to pull away, but she's struggling to do so. Might have just ran her tires off trying to pass the 54. The last thing the 54 needs to see is a yellow flag, because that would be a huge break for Deanna Shelton, as she would get back on the lead lap and have a chance to possibly win this race. Because the 54 and the 27 are not in the title hunt. The 18 is. But I'm going to check ratings on the 54 to make sure the 54 is not have ratings. Because if the 54 has ratings, then Sean Art would go to victory lane and we would be 6 for 6. And that would mean 50% of our playoff grid would be full. And Sean Art, as I said, he was a total of, as I look at the points here, Sean was a total of 19 points back of 30th in points, which was Kaylee Rankin. So looking good for Sean to possibly making it into the top 30 in the points. So Sean's already captured one goal. The other goal is, should the 54 get disqualified, Sean Art would be locking himself a spot into this season's chase for the championship. And that would be huge if Sean becomes one of the 12 drivers in this season's chase for the championship. And Sean Art has never won on my channel. Actually, Sean Art is a former Monster Energy Series winner. He's never won in trucks or in Buffalo Wild Wings Series. He's trying to do something only a few drivers have done: win in all 3 series. Sean Art won Texas in 2021 in the Monster Energy Series, made the playoffs, was eliminated, I believe, after the round of 12, but had no, I'm sorry, he was eliminated in the round of 8, my bad. Almost made it to the Final Four to compete for the championship. But regardless if the 54 does have ratings and passes and wins this race, Joe Gibbs Racing still is going to go home with a grandfather clock, regardless who it goes to, whether it is the 18 or the 54. Remember, the 54's got no hood, because he was involved in an incident earlier in the race through no fault of his own. And Sean Art, this would be big for Sean to possibly get in the playoffs. But yeah, remember, I still have post-race inspection to do as far as ratings are concerned. Check the ratings, make sure no one has an unfair advantage, especially the 54. Of course, remember, after this race, we'll have your post-race, we'll have your point standings after this race. Sean is there, but he's got a number of lap cars in his way. Sean needs another yellow to even have a chance at the 54. Or the 54 needs to make a mistake for the 18 to capitalize. And, well, the 18's starting to capitalize. Sean may actually do it the hard way as far as passing, because the 54 had problems trying to pass the 10. And 10's going to get out of the way for Sean. So that's going to help Sean close the gap. There's Sean. Let's go on board with the 18. Got 10 laps to try to make a move. That means if we get a yellow, we'll have a single file restart. Like to see this race finish under green and not under yellow like our Truck Series race did yesterday. Oh, but Wyatt Garcia got in the way. That might have just sealed it right there. That might have just sealed it. Unless Wyatt can get around the 54, that might have just sealed it right there. So Wyatt Garcia just screwed this battle for the win and allowed Pete Heller to pull away. We did not want the lap cars to screw, and now Wyatt Garcia has been asked to see the officials for ruining the battle for the win. Unless he can screw the 54. But that might have just sealed it right there. Unless Jesse Art has something to say. If Jesse Art becomes an issue for the 54, that could help Sean. And that would be an awkward moment at JGR. Oh, but the 54 ran wide. That's not good. That's good for Sean, though. And the 28's going to probably pass. Passes the 54. Here comes Sean. Sean's trying to make the playoffs. Oh, but he overdrove the corner. No. He had a golden opportunity and overdrove. No. And now Pete Heller might have just won this race unless Sean can try one more time. No. Sean had a golden opportunity and lost. Unless the 54 overdrives the corner, and looks like he did. Sean's got to keep trying, though. He cannot overdrive the corner. But that lap car is going to get in the way and cause problems. Jesse's going to get in the way of the 54. She's trying to help her brother make the playoffs. Here comes Sean Art. We might have a "you blew it." Sean is past the 54 and Sean Art's in the lead. 2 to go. Did Jesse Art help her brother make the playoffs? It looks like she might have. That will be an interesting family meeting between those two. White flag for Sean Art. Sean, who comes this race 33rd in the points, trying to make the playoffs. We will finish this race under the green flag, unlike our Truck Series race. In 2021, he won his first Monster Energy Series race. He wins his first Buffalo Wild Wings Series race as Sean Art takes the Dead on Tools 250. And with help from his little sister, did Sean Art lock himself a spot into this season's chase for the championship? And he did it from last place. How about that? Oh my goodness. And Pete Heller comes up 6/10 short. Man. I was rooting for Sean Art to win this race because I'm thinking Sean is the only driver in the top 3 who is a full-time driver and trying to make the playoffs, and Sean Art might have just done that, and he did it from last place. He pulled off a historical run from last place to the victory. Congrats to him. He'll get the grandfather clock. Pete Heller led the most laps, so close, but will finish second. Deanna Shelton third. Good run for Deanna. 2 go-homers. Monica Towns fourth. Well-needed run for Monica Towns. Comes this race 32nd in the points, so she'll definitely move herself in the top 30 in points. John Wesley Allen 5th. Bridget Thomas 6th. Jake Putnam 7th. So still a good run for the JGR clan. Of course, Jesse finished in 12th by helping Big Brother out and got himself a playoff spot as long as Sean stays in the top 30 in the points. Jake Putnam 7th. Heather Galloway, who still has that meeting with race control for that restart violation earlier in the race. came home in 8th. Lainey Fredrickson, great run from her. Lately, she's finally starting to turn a corner, and she comes home in 9th. She is 25th in the points, and Wyatt Garcia comes home in the 10th position. Here's the rest of the other drivers that finished. Jared Underhill, Jesse Art, Max Lipson. Looks like he's going to keep the points lead heading into next week because a number of drivers did not gain any points other than Wyatt Garcia. So he might lose the points to Wyatt Garcia, but Max Lipson will still keep the points lead heading into next week. Ivory Walker, Ari Springer, Justin Hugo, Lulu Champagne, Makoto Tanaka, Paul Michaels were the drivers to finish the rest of this race. Everyone else finished out of the race. They were Chloe Carmichael, Haley Deegan, who finished 21st, tough break for her. Xavier Alsop, Bella Santiago, Victor Gonzalez, who is now in the big black and yellow truck for not fixing his damage. Kaylee Rankin, Darby King, Scarlett Nelson, Lucky Prescott, her second start, tough break for her in 28th. Luke Peters, Greta Wagner, Amanda Wallace, Emily Elizabeth, Stephanie Driscoll, third in the points. April Winters not doing her championship hopes any favors in 34th. Samantha Greenfield, Maria Nowicki, former winner of the season. Maria would definitely afford it because she is inside the top 30 in the points. Sierra Harris, Mia Watts, Carla Sanat, Diana Lawson, Annie Winters second in the points, and JJ Park out of the race. So second, third, fifth, seventh, or no, I'm sorry, eighth in the points and all that. So a lot of drivers who were trying to run down Max Lipson for the points lead ran into trouble, and boy, we're in for a point shakeup heading into next week. We're going to stay right here for just a minute. We're going to get ready to show you your points going into Darlington. Congratulations, Sean Art, on his first career Buffalo Wild Wings Series win. And did Sean Art lock himself a spot into this season's chase for the championship? We're about to find out right about now. I bet Sean's probably thinking, man, lap traffic and my little sister came into play and really helped me win this race. We worked 11 cautions for 55 laps. 15 lead changes among 11 different leaders in that race. Jeez. That is crazy shit, if you ask me. As I gotta add some rookies here. But talk about, we're in for a point shakeup heading into next week. Oh yeah, I forgot to add another driver to that list. Actually, yeah. I'll probably put Prudence Heller in that ride and not Pete Heller. So Prudence Heller had a good run today. But yep, she definitely led the most laps. Almost half the race, 124 of 250, geez. So I will have to fix that name and all that good stuff, so yeah. So yeah, Prudence Heller is the driver in that ride, so yeah, there we go. Alright. Boy, I'm kind of curious how this is going to shake up the points. And there you go. Max Lipson still kept the points lead as I expected. Let's see, where did Sean was 32nd. Sean is now up to 21st with his victory. Deegan's now 50th in points. Lucky Prescott now 41st in points. and Prudence or actually Pete Heller. I'll have to put Pete Heller in there so that way I fix the standings. So not confuse that. Good run for Deanna Shelton. First top 5. Wyatt Garcia kept the rookie points lead, but it got shaken up big time. So yeah, that's going to do it for Martinsville Speedway for the 6th race of the PCSRA Buffalo Wild Wings Series. Hope you guys enjoyed this race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. Be sure to join the PCSRA Discord. The link is down in the description. You can head over there to check out all the updates and the news and notes around the PCSRA organization. And we hope you guys will join us tomorrow as we'll get ready to cap off our Martinsville weekend with the Monster Energy Series drivers at Martinsville before all 3 series head to our next race, which will be Darlington. But before that, we'll have the AutoZone Amateur Series race from Hillside. Yes, Hillside got added to the schedule, so now we have 16 races on tap. So, yeah. So after Martinsville, we'll head up to Hillside for the 3rd race for the AutoZone Amateur Series, and then have our Darlington weekend with trucks, Buffalo Wild Wings, and Monster Energy Series before the following week. It will be AutoZone and Monster Energy Series drivers from the road course of Sonoma. We have shown you your full finisher results. You are now looking at your rookie points and your overall point standings heading into next week at Darlington. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Monster Energy Series race from here at Martinsville. Until then, I've been Daniel signing off, and you have been watching yet another broadcast courtesy of the PCSRA, the best center racing around the world since 2017. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Monster Energy Series race at Martinsville. So long, everybody.